Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your watch along for Newcastle against Arsenal. Massive game in the Premier League. Arsenal need to take advantage of Liverpool dropping points yesterday. Can they do it? It's a very difficult place, which is St James's Park. Let's just change the light here. I do not like it when it's not on brand. There we go, lovely stuff. We've also, talk about brand, we've also got 2 codes we're giving away for EA Sports FC26. So make sure that you are tuning in for that. I will be dropping those codes on the channel, in the live chat, and verbally in the next few minutes. So get ready for that. I mean, somebody's literally come in and said straight away, code. I hope you don't get it, Luke. I really hope you don't get it. Yeah, as if I'm going to drop it straight away. You know, I've only just started the stream. It will be coming. It will be coming. Mark is an Arsenal fan. Well, in relation to the lineups, I think that's the most important place to start. And Arsenal certainly have gone with a more attacking lineup today. If I can get that on the screen for you. So, Arsenal starting off with Raya, Timber, Mascara, Gabriel, Calafiori, Eze, Zubimendi and Rice, and then Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard. A better lineup. Probably the team he should have played against Liverpool against Man City last week. Mascara should have started, in my opinion, and I think we're all in agreement with that. Also, I think that Eze in the midfield over Moreno was what he should have done last week as well. So it's a more attacking lineup for sure from Arsenal. As you can see, if they were to win today, they would actually go up to second place and only be 2 points behind Liverpool. So it's massively important for Arsenal. You feel it won't be that straightforward. Newcastle are a good side. And if we can get the Newcastle lineup on the screen as well, you will see that they're lining up with Pope in goal, Livramento, Thiaw, Botman, Byrne, Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali and Joel Linton, and Jacob Murphy, Voltemeda and Gordon. I mean, it's arguably their best side. Anthony Elanga maybe would be on the right normally, but Murphy was very, very good last season. Put a lovely cross in for Voltemeda a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, Dan Burn back at left back, I suppose. No Trippier, no Shaw. It's a strong... Oh, Trippier's on the bench. Shaw's not fit. It's a strong Newcastle side, and I think it's capable of getting a result. And let's not forget, with regards to Newcastle themselves, a win for them would take them into the top half of the table as well, because they're currently in the bottom, and they have, I can't remember how many points Newcastle have got, 6. So that would put them into 8th if they could win today. So not a great start for Newcastle on points. So they need to get something here today as well. Look at Sunderland in 4th place. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. Aston Villa have just beaten Fulham 3-1. Well done to them. They're up and running after a very poor start, but that will be a very encouraging result for them. When are you giving out the FC26 codes? Well, let me just tell you the information here. So, this stream contains one-time giveaways of an EA Sports FC26 digital code. It will be first come, first served. No purchase necessary. So you don't need to buy the game or anything like that. You just need to put the code in. So we will be giving away 3 digital codes. First come, first served. 1 code only. Whoever redeems it first gets it. No purchase necessary. I have a code for PS5 and I have a code for Xbox. So, you know, diversity in relation to our gifts here. So those codes will go out in the live chat. I will also read it out as I post it as well. So whoever grabs it first gets the game. I've played the game and it's not bad. I quite enjoy it. I just want to get back playing it. I'm annoyed I haven't played it for a week. I want to get back on my career mode. Yeah, lovely. Okay. What about, look, it is what it is. It's PS5, it's Xbox. Shut up about PC and PS4. It is what it is. You get what you get. If it's not been mentioned, there isn't one. Lovely stuff. And I'm going to do it in about 5 minutes. So, share the video. Once we hit 10,000 people watching, I'll do the codes, basically. Who are you signing next? Any hints, says Simon? No. Right, let's get a bit of a poll going in relation to what our thoughts are in relation to the result here today. I think what did Robbie say in this? But we've obviously got win, lose or draw going on, and it's a bit all over the place at the moment. What did he say? We both said Arsenal win. Oh, I was hoping he might have gone with a Newcastle draw. Yeah, we've both gone with an Arsenal win. I said Villa would win. He said draw, so that's one back for me. His luck's got to run out at some point. I've always said that about that Robbie. His luck's got to run out at some point. Yeah, we've both gone with an Arsenal win, which I don't think is actually a foregone conclusion because Newcastle are so good at St James's Park, and I think it's going to be ridiculously difficult for Arsenal. But as I always say about Arsenal, the poll is up and running. As I always say about Arsenal, they're very hard to beat. They didn't lose to Man City. Despite all the negativity, they did not lose to Man City. And the only game that they've lost this season to Liverpool was because of a worldie by Szoboszlai. So whatever about Arsenal, I think Arteta can be quite pragmatic, but you look at the team today and at least he's going on the front foot. I think it's a pivotal moment in the race for the Premier League because if Arsenal can close in on 2 points on Liverpool, it just makes everything back on again. Whereas if they lose, 5 points, 2 losses already, you know, it's a big game for Arsenal, but it's also a big game for Newcastle. They've not had the best start. 6 points from 5 games is not brilliant for Newcastle. And yeah, they've had some difficult games. Obviously, they've had to play Liverpool and they're playing Arsenal today. But I think with regards to Newcastle, I would expect them to be in a slightly better position than this. Obviously, they are in the Champions League, which they're playing on Wednesday. Then they've got Forest at home. Then they've got Brighton away. And then they've got Fulham. And then they've got West Ham. So they've got some winnable league games coming up, but they've got to start winning them. A bit of upheaval around Newcastle at the start of the season with Isak. Voltemade came in right in before the end of the transfer window. And I think that cost them the first 3 games. I think they dropped a lot of points they wouldn't have normally dropped. But now I think it's time for Newcastle to start to deliver. So I think it's very interesting to see how Newcastle approach this game today, because normally at home, it's blood and thunder. You know, it's intense, and I'm expecting that from Newcastle. But Arsenal, as we've said, with Eze starting in the midfield and Saka back on the right and Mascara playing at centre-back, I think we're going to get goals in this game. And this game traditionally has not been without its controversies when you think about that push on Gabriel a couple of years ago. So, yeah, look, I want to say that before as well. I very rarely watch Match of the Day. But I just finished an episode of what I'm watching on Netflix at the moment last night, put it on normal TV. Match of the Day was on, and I caught it for the Man United game and the Chelsea game. And fair play to Shearer, he did say what most of us said yesterday. Not sending Mbeumo off is just downright ignoring the rules, and not giving the penalty when Gusto kicks the Brighton player in the head is incredible. I also think Salah handballed it in the Palace game. Now, ultimately, Brighton won, Liverpool lost, Man United lost, so did it make a massive impact? But there are 3 shocking decisions yesterday that we just become accustomed to because our officiating is shit. Nothing will happen. Arsenal, you know, Villa aren't in the Champions League because of shit officiating that cancelled out a legitimate goal. So you worry in every game you watch these days that there might be something that just, you know, impacts the result. But I thought yesterday, hopefully they got it all wrong. Not Mbeumo sent off, Collins sent off. The Mbeumo incident is what I meant to say. But yeah, I think hopefully they've got all their crap decisions out the way, because there were some absolute stinkers yesterday if you didn't see them. I mean, like, really bad. You know, the Mbeumo foul and not sending Collins off was just ignoring the rules they wrote. The kick in the head by Gusto on the Brighton player is just, how can it not be a penalty? You can't blindly kick the ball high and then kick a player in the face. The Salah one's a little bit more debatable, but ultimately it looks like it does it hit his hand. So I hope there's nothing like that today. Nicholas says, if, and I say if, Southgate comes in, can it be worse than we are now this season? Relegation battle. I mean, look, in relation to Man United, I definitely think any manager that comes in will probably move Man United up the table. I don't think anybody's moving us anywhere into the top 6. So I think it will be a small victory, to be honest with you. And the football would be shit with Southgate. So I really want it to be a Man United free zone, to be honest. I don't necessarily come onto That's Football to talk about Man United. It's meant to be my escape. Common Saudi FC. Come on, Saudi FC, says Rub. Arteta out. I'm already depressed with Chelsea and Maresca. Don't let me down today. Talking about Chelsea yesterday, I mean, there was a few big results yesterday, wasn't there? I mean, Spurs drawing at home to Wolves. That's just typical Spursy. They are dropping silly points again at home. Bournemouth beat them. Wolves get a draw against them. Spurs will always be Spursy, I suppose. Chelsea losing 2 in a row is obviously going to put pressure onto Maresca. But if I'm being completely fair and honest, if you lose a man in the first 5 minutes at Old Trafford, you're probably going to lose the game. And if you lose a man at half-time, basically, against Brighton, you're probably not going to win the game. So for all people want to blame Maresca, it's very, very difficult in this league to play 2 games with 10 men. And I think there might be a slight overreaction with some of the Maresca hate, because I think it's very, very difficult when players are making... I mean, it's just freaky, isn't it, that they've had a man sent off in the last 2 games, and they were both sending off. So I think you've got to you can't be judging a manager on 2 losses when it's down to 10 men. As for Liverpool, I think the loss for Liverpool came as we expected. My feeling with Liverpool was that, are they going to suddenly snap out of this bad form and just start winning, playing well? Or is this bad form actually going to cost them at some point? And I say bad form. I mean, it's not bad form to win 5 in a row, but Liverpool fans know what I'm talking about. They haven't been at their best. There's been a lot of upheaval at Liverpool this summer. Tragically, with Jota, players leaving like Diaz and Trent are big players to lose as well. Lots of players coming in. 5 wins from 5 was probably papering the cracks a little bit. Losing to a Crystal Palace side that's been unbeaten forever is probably a reality bite. Massive game for Liverpool next Saturday against Chelsea. Really looking forward to that, because both teams need to bounce back. So I think we're in for a great Saturday night game next week. But look, Liverpool's loss is everybody else's gain, and it's probably overdue, and it's good in relation to the league as well. Jurgen Klopp has just gifted 10 memberships, by the way. Absolute legend. Make sure you give it a double. Also, make sure that you share the video, because as soon as we've got 10,000 live viewers, because we will have 10,000 live viewers at some point, we will be giving out those FC26 codes from EA Sports. 1 for the PlayStation and 1 for the Xbox, as soon as we hit 10,000. So I hope some of you've got your PlayStations ready, because you're going to have to be bloody quick. Did you see the 2 missed penalties in the Villa game? Refs are terrible, says Jordan. I haven't seen anything from the game of Villa against Fulham other than the result, 3-1, and the goal by John McGinn that was very good. So if there were mistakes in that one, I haven't seen it. So thanks for that, Jordan. Hi, Mark. Is it FC26 Ultimate or Standard? I don't know, Rahul. The person who gets it will be able to tell us that. Thoughts on Timber and Calafiori's insane aura, says Rajaf. I've never really had any thoughts about their insane aura, to be honest with you. But I think Timber is comfortably the best right back in the Premier League this season. And he's having a very, very good season. I think looking at this game today, where this game gets won and lost, will be the midfield. We talk about it all the time on the United stands. Man United's midfield is ridiculously bad. I don't know why it's an area that has been neglected, because in my whole life watching football, you can have your superstars, you can have your goal scorers, you can have your goalkeepers, you can have your good defenders. But if you haven't got a midfield that can compete, it doesn't matter. And one thing that Newcastle have every week when they play Tonali, Joe Linton and Bruno G is a midfield that can compete with anybody. And in a game like this away from home, it's on Declan Rice, it's on Zubimendi and Eze to battle and win that midfield battle. And I think the team that does that will come out on top, definitely. So, but I think there'll be a lot of goals. I'm very bad at predicting score results. 46% of you are going with an Arsenal win, 33% of you going with a Newcastle win, and 21% of you going with a draw. I mean, that's quite a big spread, really. But I think that if I was going for a score prediction, I think 3-1, 3-2 Arsenal. I'm hoping that we're going to get quite an open game. Newcastle, the crowd are always up for it. Arsenal have gone slightly more attacking than normal, so I'm hoping that they can get it right. Goldio with a serious £10 super chat. He says, very serious point here, Mark. I thought Micah Richards, was spot on Match of the Day yesterday. Amrim constantly changing the back three, and when make subs shift players around. Mbeumo 10, right wing back, left wing back, for example. I did see that bit, mate. I did see that bit. Look, I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight. We can talk about that then. But the reality is, if you play Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, it's like Arsenal putting Saka in the midfield. It's like Newcastle playing Anthony Gordon in the midfield. I just don't get it. It's like Liverpool playing Wirtz in the midfield too. He's just. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It's like playing Cole Palmer next to Enzo Fernandez in the midfield too. I mean, that's probably the best example. It's just incredibly weird. Bruno Fernandes has never been a tenacious, tackling, tracking of runner player. He just hasn't. And I know Man City did it with De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is a very different player to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes in a midfield too, and you wonder why you're losing games. Bruno Fernandes as a 10, different story. Bruno Fernandes in the midfield too, unbelievably bad. And Bienda's crap in goal as well. You know, in wearing that pink kit yesterday was like Phil Jones in the pink boots. It was just like, I knew as soon as I saw him in that pink kit, I was getting a lot of rubbish in the watch-along. A lot of people were telling me, Bienda's good, Bienda's good. I was like, I've seen this movie before. He's absolutely crap, and he's wearing a pink kit. I know how this ends. And lo and behold, shot straight at him, completely misses it. But, yeah, United have got big problems. The thing is about Man United is you look at that Arsenal side and you look at that Newcastle side, they're on a different level. They're on a different level. How many Man United players get into that team on the screen there? Be honest, be truthful. How many Man United players get into that team there? Yeah, exactly. No one gets in the midfield. De Ligt, I think, has had a very good season, and I would argue that De Ligt could replace Mosquera. I know Arsenal fans will say no, but, you know, as a United fan, De Ligt has been very good this season. That's it. Front three, I like Mbeumo, but he ain't getting ahead of Saka. I like Cunha. Maybe Cunha could go ahead of Trossard. Sesko's not getting ahead of Gyökeres. So maybe one, maybe two, a push. It's an absolute push. Now let's do Newcastle. How many Man United players get in that Newcastle side? Again, no one gets in the midfield. No one gets in the fullbacks. Again, you could probably get De Ligt in next to Botman. Front three. And Mbeumo's better than Murphy. Voltemada over Sesko, probably not. Gordon is ahead of Cunha because he's a naturally left-footed player. So, again, one, maybe two players get in. And that's being generous. So, explain to me how Man United are going to finish above Newcastle when only one, maybe two Man United players get in a Newcastle team. Newcastle won't be in the top four. They'll be 5th or 6th. So, how do Man United, how does Sir Jim Ratcliffe sit there and think, we've got a squad that can compete for the Champions League? I've just sat there and told you one, maybe two Man United players get in a Newcastle side. How do you compete with a team that's going to finish 5th or 6th when you can only get one or two in the team? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. We are very close to giving these codes away, by the way. Keep sharing the video. As soon as we hit 10,000, we'll be giving them away. Code UK only, says Abad. I've not been told that, so just get ready. Radcliffe's must be smoking meth to think that, says Sam. Will Man United finish above Villa, says Bringer. I mean, mate, great win for Villa today. Good win for Villa today. Very false position. I don't know whether they just had a hangover from not really doing much in the summer. They're a good side, Villa, with a good manager. And they've had a weird start to the season. But that's a good win against a good Fulham side today. And you wonder if this is a kickstart for Aston Villa to get moving up the table. But the way I look at it, it's still very early in the season. So important for Arsenal to win today, but so important for Newcastle to win today. I think it's a massive game for both of them. Newcastle not in the top 10 at the moment. We talk about Newcastle in 5th or 6th. Look who's in 4th and 5th. Sunderland and Bournemouth on pure merit. After 6 games, you are where you deserve to be. And they're above Man City. So, very important for Newcastle to start winning. Very important for Arsenal to win, to get themselves close to Liverpool. It's hard to predict what's going to happen in this season at the moment. Chelsea just lost 2 on the bounce as well. So I'm really enjoying the Premier League. It's probably not the league I thought it was going to be. so far. I really thought the expenditure of the Man City's, Chelsea's, Liverpool and Arsenal was going to put them into a league of their own. And I think that's why they spent the money. But again, despite losing players, Bournemouth ridiculously competitive. Sunderland, despite being a newly promoted side, spent a lot of money, ridiculously competitive. So even Leeds are doing quite well. So I think at the moment, you know, we're getting a really good start to the season. I mean, Leighton says, will you speak on Sunderland briefly? Well, I haven't watched Sunderland play this season. I don't think I have, unless someone can tell me. I haven't watched the Sunderland game. I think they're the only team I haven't watched this season. I'll definitely be watching them next Saturday because they're playing Man United. So I can't speak on Sunderland, honestly, until I've watched them. But they've got a very good chance of beating Man United next week. Because I can tell by the results they've had so far, you wouldn't be fourth in the league, having only lost one, if you weren't decent. You don't play 6 games in the Premier League and have 11 points unless you're decent. You know, you don't get luck. So I'll look at Sunderland next week, but I'll be absolutely honest, I haven't watched them play 90 minutes. I can't think of watching them 90 minutes. So I wouldn't say, I'd like to watch Sunderland play someone like Villa. I'd look forward to that. I'm not looking forward to them playing against us, but I don't know what we're going to get next week, but they're definitely capable of beating Man United. I mean, I've seen enough teams come to Old Trafford and turn United over. Audi RS3 says, I think this will be a draw. Sesko is good, just pass to him. Masked Blue Fire, thanks for your super chat. He says, hi Mark, off topic. I know this is not the United stand, but as a United fan, I'm tired of us losing and losing. How are you so patient? Love you, mate. I think Man United are finished, mate. I think we're finished. I don't see a way back. That's why I'm so patient. As I said yesterday, I'll never stop loving this football club, but I hate what it's become. And that's once you settle on that, you get on with your life. I can't change it. It's not going to change. I think a lot of people think it's going to change. Oh, it must change. Liverpool changed because they changed their ownership. Arsenal changed because they changed their approach to recruiting players and backing managers. Man City changed because they got new owners. Newcastle have changed from a relegation team to a Champions League team because they got new owners. Man United have still got the Glazers. I don't think it's going to change. So I can't be asked to sit there screaming and shouting about changing a manager again because I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is who owns the football club, and that's not going to change. So, you know, I wouldn't say I'm relaxed about it. I'm defeated, ultimately. But look, Newcastle are a prime example of how things can change for anybody. And every football club that does well in the Premier League, whether it's Sunderland or Bournemouth or Fulham or Newcastle, fundamentally behind the scenes is a well-run football club. Or if it's not a well-run football club, it's a football club that's focused on being successful on the pitch. And I think Sunderland need to be studied. I mean, I there's a few tweets and there's a few videos, I've mentioned it here. What I did say about Sunderland was, are they technically... I'm gonna do the codes now. Get ready for the codes. Make sure you smash a like on the video. If you get 1,000 likes. Let me finish this statement though. I said on a few videos in the summer that we are Sunderland low-key winning the transfer window because they bought so many players, of which I hardly knew any of them. But there was 20 million here, there was 20 million there, there was 20 million here, there was 20 million there. So there was a lot of recruitment from Sunderland. Okay, get ready for this. I will read this out. Are you ready? Because we've only got 6 minutes till the start of the game, so it's perfect timing. Well done, everybody who got us to 10,000. Keep sharing the video. So, are you ready for this? Let's do Xbox first. So, we're giving away free EA Sports FC digital code. First come, first served. One code only. Whoever redeems it first gets it. No purchase necessary. So watch the live chat. It's about to drop for Xbox. I will read you the code as well as I do it. So it's in the chat. The code is 2G743 49J G7 6GT7F JTMGZ. That's your Xbox code. First come, first served. Get onto it. Somebody caught an ad. Oh, God. Yeah, about 20 people said they got it, but obviously they didn't. Obviously they didn't. Right, let's do the PS5 one. Make sure you smash a like on the video. EA Sports FC 26 giving us the codes as well. Absolute legends for this. So let's go with the PS5 code. So as I said, first come, first serve. No purchase necessary. Free EA Sports FC 26 digital code. This is PS5's. And the code is a lot shorter. MT2C PPJK 3NRM. There you go. Make sure you smash the like on the video for that. I enjoy that. I have got another code to give away on my career mode this week as well. So make sure that you get involved with that. It's amazing how many people get the code when there's only one. But well done everyone who got it. Absolute legends. FC 26, get playing with that. Thank you to EA Sports. I haven't played the game in a week because I've been a bit off ill and busy and stuff. Jurgen Klopp makes a great point here. He says the best two defences in the league so far against it here in terms of XG conceded, so not expecting much in terms of goals. Well, they probably have got the two best defences in the league now that Forest have got rid of Nuno. What a bunch of prats, by the way, as well. Just reviewing the weekend, the games I didn't talk to you about because obviously we did the 3 o'clocks. What a bunch of prats Nottingham Forest are getting rid of Nuno. I mean, Ange is just not working. Losing 1-0 at home. You can't even fucking score goals. Didn't get it. Sonny's crying now. Thanks, Mark. This is 1 inch wonder. And Nomad says, hi, Mark. What's the reason for Wirtz's poor start to the season? He's such a good player, Wirtz. I get the banter, right? You know, fans chase that sort of low-level commodity. But I think I think Wirtz will come good. I'm old enough to have watched lots of football through my life, and these things do happen. I think he will come good. At Liverpool, but yeah, it's you're judged on goals and assists, and he's just not started off that well, has he? Right, we're nearly at the start of the game now. Anyway, lovely stuff. That flew by, that half an hour. Did we talk every topic? I think we did. Yeah, I mean, yeah. 3 at the back for Newcastle, says Hamza. Yeah, I think it's a shit start for Forest. I mean, Nuno's now at West Ham, isn't he? It's just, I don't know. This is what owners can be problematic. Owners can be great, but owners can be problematic. We do the Bundesliga on a Friday night, and we have the highlight show midweek. By the way, Frankfurt at Mönchengladbach last night was the Saturday night game in the Bundesliga. 6-0 to Frankfurt after about 55 minutes, ends up 6-4. Why do they get so many bloody goals? Imagine if we got that today. But my point was, like, we are in the hands of owners. At United, we are one of the biggest clubs in the world, suffering week in, week out, simply because we have, you know, a family that's run us into the ground. I mean, it's incredible. This dictatorship has destroyed an institution. You could say, look, a lot of Forest fans probably wanted Nuno to be in charge this year. A fallout with one man, he's gone. You got Ange in, he's shit. So it's mad in the Premier League that we've got some of the most passionate fans in the world, but we're dictated to by these dictatorships. And, you know, you look at the Bundesliga model, and these things can't happen because they have fan ownership. So, you know, St. James's Park is one of the better grounds in the Premier League. Look at it. Nothing's happening. They're all singing, but if that was the Bundesliga, there'd be flags and everything, and we just can't generate these atmospheres and, you know, the feel towards your club. You know, I've been a converter over the last few weeks. I desperately want to see fan ownership in football, really. Right, we're about to start the game here. Ezzy's going to kick it off. Can you do a mid-seasons prediction review in December, says Dan? Yeah. We're up and running. There we go. Chano says, you didn't read my super chat, but it's probably because I was talking about something else. The game hasn't actually started because it's been restarted. So let me go. There we go. Now we have started. There we go. Have you seen we're linked to... Yeah, I'm not reading that, Bailey. This could... Mark says, Dan, do you think this could be Arteta's last season? No. No, I think it's a fan theory that Arsenal fans have said if he doesn't win a Champions League or a trophy, then he needs to go. The fans don't decide. It fits in with my point perfectly, doesn't it? You're not in control of Arsenal Football Club. We're not in control of Man United. Newcastle fans aren't in control of Newcastle. Just because you think if Arsenal finish second again, he needs to go, I don't think they'll sack him. I don't think they'll sack Arteta if he finishes second and gets to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I think Arsenal fans will go, he needs to go, but I don't think the club will listen to you, in my honest opinion. Early free kick here. Chance for Arsenal to whip a cross in. Did you hear what Paul Scholes was saying about Declan Rice this week? Said he's not his type of midfielder. What does he actually do? Cash Talks Football says, gave you a shout out, boss. You're welcome. That's a lovely cross. No, too far out for Gyökeres to get any power on it, really. Straight at Pope. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of a few people in the chat. They know what they're getting rid for. So, Toxic Sunday. People have obviously got crap jobs and lives, moaning. Apparently the Xbox code might have been too short. Mate, I haven't got an Xbox. I copied and pasted it in, so I've sent a message to see if that's right or not. I'll let you know when they come back. So, yeah. Yeah, we know apparently the Xbox code was too short. Get a fucking PS5. Never had an Xbox in my life. They're shit. That will solve your problem. I don't give a shit if your code's too short. I copied and pasted it. I know the PS5 one was right because I've got one. When I get an answer, I'll let you know. But my answer is get a PS5, you know? Ghostbusters 1984 says shitbox. I don't know. Xbox might be okay, but I've never had one. I've never had one. I don't like the controller. I've just had a message from Xbox. We're pulling the brand deal. Shit. No, well. I've had every single PS. I've had PS1, PS2. Okay, I've got the proper code now. No. So the Xbox code's going to come out now. I'm supposed to do this. Anyway, Arsenal on the attack with Timber. Comes to Eze on the edge. Eze on the edge. Oh, what a save by Pope. What a save by Pope. I definitely thought that was going to be a goal. And I think I think that, wow, that is an amazing save. Say what you like about Pope and, you know, whether he should be England's #1. That's a very good hit by Eze into the bottom corner, and he's perfect. That's what I mean. If that's Onana, that's coming back to the 6-yard box. Look, that's proper goalkeeping. Wrist movement, flip it out of danger. Not only a good save, but also a really good bit of wrist movement as well. Right, corner to Arsenal though. They're normally good at these. Pope gets there again, and Newcastle clear it away. Right, if you're waiting on this Xbox code, I've now got it. Apparently, the first one went out and only had 4 sets of numbers. This has got 5. So, Xbox crew, it's coming for you. Then I can just get on with watching this game. Into the chat, it goes. Bang. Just saw an edit of Joshua King and it gave me flashbacks of the days under Ollie where we all thought we would sign him every transfer window, says Robble. And yes, lads, UTV is on the way home from Villa Park, buzzing. We've won a Premier League game, mate. Well done. Perhaps, I don't know what's been going on at Villa, but well done. Maybe that can be the start of something. Here's Saka on the right-hand side. Arsenal have started off very well. And he's into the box. And Pope gets hold of it. Arsenal started well here. Should be 1-0 up. Nick Pope with a worldy save from Eze. And Arsenal starting on the front foot. Would you take Brendan Rodgers at United? Scottish Premier League experience would know what United's all about, says Chris. Oh, mate, there's no... You give me a manager and tell me how they're going to do any better than Ten Hag, Mourinho, Rangnick, Ollie, Amorim, and I'll call you a liar. Nice ball down the wing to Gordon. Timber wins it easily. A lovely ball as well. This is good movement by Arsenal. According to Fabrizio, Ineos likes Gareth Southgate. Yeah, I'm sure they rang Fabrizio up and told him that. Getting more messages than bloody... the postman here. What a save by Nick Pope. What a save. Oh, I always think a good save. It's like a shot that hits the bar. That Mateta shot yesterday as well. Oh, what a goal that would have been. And I thought Arne Slot spoke very honestly after the game. I listened to what he said after the game, and he basically said, first half, Crystal Palace were better than us, could have scored, you know, more than one. Second half, we were better, and ultimately, they win it at the end. So, I think he was very magnanimous, if that's the name. As I said in my match reaction, I don't think Liverpool can have any genuine complaints considering the games they've won this season. Voltemeda, loads of space. Loads of space. Into Gordon. Terrible touch, but he wins it back. Now it's Dan Burn, and it's a good cross. Gabriel was wrapped around Voltemeda there like a Christmas present. He couldn't get out. And He's given the corner. Volta Messi, says someone. Yes. I don't know why I never got to know why they called him Volta Messi. Is it because he's got good feet? What if the next United manager performs like Amram, says DX? Can we just not talk about Man United, please? I'd love to not talk about Man United. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock. Azari says that Newcastle break looked pathetic. A little bit lethargic, wasn't it? Good header, straight at the keeper. That was from the new signing from AC Milan. Thiaw? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Might be Thor. Thiaw. Here's German. He was at Schalke. Then he went to AC Milan. He's played 3 times for Germany. It's Chow. I don't know what it is. What score have you predicted, Mark? I've gone with an Arsenal win 3-1. I'm going to end the poll. 44% of you went Arsenal. 35% of you went Newcastle win. And 22% of you went with a draw. 3-1 Arsenal, I'm going to go. Chicken chow mein, says Kartik. I've got a Sunday chicken roast to later, which I'm looking forward to. Got me some baggy bottom jeans. Corner to Newcastle. Would you take Eze for Bruno? Not if I was going to... No, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd take Bruno G for Bruno Fernandes so I can actually use a midfielder in midfield. There's no point in having Eze and then putting him in the midfield. We don't play Bruno in his position. Another corner to Newcastle. Bit of pressure here. Declan Rice getting his head on it. What's your order from the chippy, Mark? Well, last time I had a pie, gravy, chips and mushy peas and it was absolutely lovely. But sometimes I just have fish and chips. Not going to lie. MV says this stinks of a 0-0. Stop being so bloody negative. It does not stink of a 0-0. It should be 1-0 already. Great save by Pope. Stop talking out your ass. I think some people just are negative. Another corner to Newcastle here. Must have had about 3 or 4 corners in a row. Good punch away by Raya. Right on him. Good corners from Newcastle. They've still got it though. Will there be another Xbox code, says it's Louis? No. There won't be any more codes. We've done it. 1 each. Big shout out to EA Sports FC 26. That's a nice ball over the top to Saka. He's got loads of players around him. Gyökeres. Oh, ref. He's got to give it. He's giving it. He's got to give the penalty. Has to give the penalty. I don't think it should be a red. I don't think it should be a red. I don't think it should be a red. Do not think it should be a red. I think there's a genuine attempt to win the ball. There's no way that should be a red card, especially in relation to what happened to Man United yesterday. Penalty. Gyökeres running through. Gets there ahead of Pope. And out it goes. Let's have a look. Ball through. Saka controls it. Bad back pass. No, it's not a red. It's a genuine attempt to win the ball, and there's a player covering as well. Yeah, he's gone for the ball there. That's a yellow card. Yeah. No way that's a yellow. No way that's a red. Penalty and a yellow. Some people still don't understand the rules. Last man red doesn't exist anymore, mate. It's not that. Oh, he's going to VAR. Might not even be a penalty. What's going on? Right, I'll run a poll on this. Was it a pen? I thought it was a stone wall. I can't believe he's gone to VAR for this. So, maybe he gets the ball. No, but it's still a reckless tackle, isn't it? Whether he gets the ball or not, he still takes the player out afterwards. Gyökeres would have got to the ball. Whether he gets the ball or not, he takes his leg. I'm baffled. No, keeper gets the ball is irrelevant because, look, he takes out the player afterwards. Gyökeres would have got there, whether he got the ball or not. That's a penalty, that is. That is a penalty. That's a penalty. They fucked this up if they don't give it. It's the Stonewall penalty. How are they reviewing this? I mean, I just don't... I cannot, for the life of me, see how they are... I mean, look, 42% of you say it's not a penalty, but, I mean, he absolutely clatters him. If that was in the middle of the pitch, it's a foul. Look, I love it when we disagree, but if that's in the middle of the pitch, it's a penalty. So I can't, for the life of me, understand why people are saying it's a dive. Wow, that is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. VAR, fucking rubbish again. So what he's basically going to say is he got a little bit of the ball. Right, let me just explain this to you, right? Midfielder coming towards me. I fly in. I slightly get the ball, but I clatter the player. That's not how football fucking works. That's like saying, I've got in with my studs, I got a little bit of the ball, and then I broke your fucking leg. That's not... Ball is not how it fucking works. People are so thick. You're so thick. Getting the ball is not the point. It's the recklessness of the challenge. He clatters him after getting what can only be a slight touch on the ball. Gyökeres would have got the ball. Terrible decision. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. You can shove your Arsenal bias where the sun don't shine. That is a shocking decision. Absolutely shocking. If that happened to Man United, I'd be going absolutely mad. And so would any Liverpool fan. That is just pure, you don't want Arsenal to get it. That's all about. If that was your team, you'd be going absolutely mad. That is not... Also, the referee's given it. Why is VAR getting involved again? Mic drop. Mic drop. Why is VAR getting involved in something that wasn't clear and obviously wrong? Oh, we're doing it again. We're re-refereeing games again. It clearly wasn't a bad decision, so why are they telling him to review it? You're only meant to get involved if it's clear and obvious. That was not clear and obviously wrong. He's had to spend 5 fucking minutes looking at it. Oh, VAR should just get in the bin. Get in the bin. Absolute joke. Have your say. Well, I said before the game, I didn't want there to be any VAR controversies. And we've seen it yet again. Absolutely madness. VAR has had a shambles this weekend again, says Ghazi. For your attention, the ref in the game is not allowed to ref Liverpool games because he's admitted to being a Liverpool fan, says Tanishk. Woo! Didn't know that. Plevin says you were crying about double jeopardy yesterday. You need to give us more information, mate, because all I'm getting is you're a prat. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't just make a statement like that. What do you mean? Robbo96 says that was a good call from the referee. Well spotted. We play on. Yeah, he gave a penalty, mate. It's a pen all day, boss. The game is gone, says Cash Talks Football. Liverpool fan Darren England on VAR, says Blake M. That can't be Shoe. Sure. Surely. Well, you know, that I've just Googled that. So I mean, look, unless Google's wrong, Darren England is a boyhood fan of Liverpool Football Club. He's on the VAR. So it says he's a boyhood Liverpool fan. He's on the VAR here. And factually, he's just re-refereed a penalty that wasn't clear and obviously wrong. Look, I don't care. Like 60% say it was a penalty, 40% say it wasn't. So there's clearly a debate to be had. But where you can't defeat anybody who says this is that the VAR is only meant to get involved. And Howard Webb said this the other week. The VAR is only meant to get involved when it's clear and obviously wrong. Otherwise, you stick with the on-field decision. That was not clear and obviously wrong. It wasn't. 60% of you think it was a penalty, 40% don't. That, by its very definition, means it's debatable. So VAR shouldn't get involved. So if it's not clearly and obviously wrong, why is he telling him to take a look at it? And he's a bloody Liverpool fan. It's mad, isn't it? Why do the PGM... Why does Howard Webb put himself in this position with these people? Why do they ignore the rules? I think Gyökeres gets the first touch on the ball, says Luke. Look, for me, I think it's a penalty because he knocks the ball past the goalkeeper and Nick Pope takes him out. So for me, Nick Pope is never in control of the ball. He never knows where he's hitting the ball. And he clatters the player, preventing him getting the ball after he's not passed it. So it's a foul. On the centre of the pitch, that's a foul. So for me, that's a foul. That's why I think it's a penalty. But my big issue is the referee gave it on the pitch. I wouldn't expect, if the referee said no penalty, for it to get overturned. But when the referee on the pitch gives it, the only reason VAR should be telling him to go and look at it is if it's definitively wrong. And it wasn't definitively wrong. It was a shocking decision. But look, I said this to you before. Yesterday, we had a penalty to Brighton. Stonewall, not given. We had Salah handball it. Wasn't given. And we had Collins not sent off for making no attempt to stopping Mbeumo score a goal. So add it to the list. We've had 4 shocking decisions this weekend. Dixon says, some super chats ignored, mate. Not great for paying fans. Mate, shut up. I mean, I don't know how young you are or how long, in relation to how long you've watched the channel. I don't instantly go, oh, there's a super chat, let's read it. I go through them in a minute. I'm obviously talking about something with the live chat about the penalty. I will go back to them in a minute. Been doing it for 10 years, mate. I don't just stop because somebody wants to talk about what they had for dinner or who's better, Lewandowski or Kane. I will go through those in a minute, but we're obviously working through quite a controversial moment and having a bit of a back and forth. So I will go to them in a minute. Stop trying to, do whatever it is you're trying to do. Controversy in the league again. It just does my head in. I'm fed up. I am obviously fed up of talking about officiating, but it's every bloody game, every week. This is why I would switch it off, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Like, I know what to do more than them, and I'm not a bloody referee. Lovely ball by Salah into Rice. Is he going to play Trossard in? Trossard hits the post. Our Arsenal not winning this game. It's crazy. Great save by Pope in the first few minutes. Penalty not given. And now they've hit the post. Liam Evans says, I'm a Newcastle fan. Penalty all day. Pope doesn't win the ball. I mean, Liam, I don't know whether you're a Newcastle fan. Dale says, Chelsea red card yesterday wasn't a red. I thought it was 100% a red. Dead says, do you think the Prem should have refs VAR from different countries to stop the possibility of any team bias? Look, I mean, I'm only reading what's on the live chat and what's the what's online about the Liverpool fan stuff. I mean, regardless of whether he's a Liverpool fan or not, I don't really think that's why he's making those decisions. The question to Darren England has to be, why are you re-refereeing a game? You're not meant to do that. You're not on the pitch. You're VAR to support the referee on the pitch. You should only get the referee to look at something when you think they've made a mistake. A clear and obvious mistake. It's not clear and obvious at all. Kevin says, you mentioned Darren England, but he was one of the ones that was on VAR for the Luis Diaz offside goal in that one Spurs game, if you remember. Yeah, I think he's also... As a Liverpool fan, it's a penalty, says M26. The ball is kicked into Pope's foot in anything, and it's definitely not clearly wrong. It's very divisive. I agree with you, and you have got a Liverpool badge. Nick Pope has got no idea he touches that ball. He runs out, clatters the player, and the ball may or may not brush off him as Gyökeres knocks it past him. That is not a tackle. That is out of control. Robbo says, Mark, chill. It was Arsenal being denied there, not Man United. Yeah, that's football, mate. It's actually my escape from Manchester United. So I watch football passionately away from Man United and always have done. So, yeah, he does get a little bit of the ball, but I just think it's a shockingly bad decision. Crowd singing, it must be the ball, says no, Notter. I think Gyökeres gets the first touch on the ball, says Luke. Even as a Liverpool fan, to overturn that is shocking, says Cinema Drunk. Darren England's on VAR, so that was obvious, Mark, says Rajaf. Fly the ref in this game. For your attention, the ref in this game is not allowed to ref Liverpool games because he's admitted to being a Liverpool fan. I think it's the VAR ref, Tanishq. Gazzy Baby said that. We've caught up on them there. Jared says, Pope gets the ball first, mate. Clean your glasses. Saka was still on it. Ref denied a potential goal, says Mr. Bungle. Look, I take on point what people are saying about potential touches on the ball by Pope. I don't think that's in dispute. The thing is, great save by Pope from Eze again. He's having a great game one way or another. The big thing is, you're not meant to re-referee the game. And it's not clear and obvious. Nobody can sit there and say that clearly and obviously wasn't a penalty. So by definition, if you're an Arsenal fan, you've been hard done by, because the referee's given the penalty, and then Darren England said, you've clearly and obviously got this wrong, you need to take a look at it. That's not the rule. Howard Webb has said many times, if it's not clear and obvious, leave it. Leave it on the pitch. Miles says that Darren England is banned from the VAR in Liverpool games. Few mentioned that, I don't know. Well, look, we've still got 15 minutes to go till half time, and in fairness, he has made a couple of great saves here from Eze, Nick Pope. And although people said this has got 0-0 written all over it, I really don't think it is. Watch your back says, if you watch it, you can see he dived. I've seen it 10 times. Referee's given the penalty. I've watched it 10 times and I still don't see how he's obviously got that wrong. That's my point. I've seen it 10 times and I'm looking in slow motion for, did he do that? Did he not do that? That's what my point is. If we need to watch it 10 times and go, did he touch it? Did he dive? Did he slightly get it? That's not you're not listening to my point. If the referee doesn't give it, fine. If he gives it, You're not meant to re-referee it and go, I think you've got it wrong, but you might need to look at it a million times. That's the whole point of the rules. You're meant to just go, he's given it, it's not obviously wrong, leave it. But we're all looking at it going, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe he dived. Maybe there was a little touch. That's not how it's meant to work. But the way things are going for Arsenal here, it might be one of those days where it's Newcastle's day. Do you think Arne Slot would get United in the top 5? No. Noah. We haven't got the players. David says he knocks the ball to the left after Pope lunges in, so Nick Pope's challenge in the first place would never have touched the ball. Let's just agree to have a look at it again at half-time. 60% of you say it was a penalty, 40% wasn't. We'll look at it again at half-time. Apparently Xavi might be heading off to Saudi. I mean, I don't think he'll be going to United. Here's Saka down the right-hand side. I think Arsenal have played very well. Another shot, another save by Pope. Well, you certainly can't argue about Arsenal's intent today. They've had a bloody good go. Newcastle been a bit disappointing. If it wasn't a foul, the fact of the matter is the rule is VAR doesn't get involved if it's not clear. So either way, it should have been a penalty. They shouldn't have got involved, you're right. Another corner to Arsenal. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, that's football, the place to be. Everybody's welcome, doesn't matter who you support. Corner to Arsenal, into the back post. That's gone way over everybody else. It'll go for a goal kick. Statistically, Newcastle have done all right possession-wise, but Arsenal definitely on top with the shots. Newcastle need to do a little bit more on the front foot. Born on the flank. I like this Mascara. Oh, I've just jinxed the shit out of him there. God. Oh, how often does that happen? I literally said I like this Mascara and he just scuffs it out for a corner. Yeah, I do like him, but that's a shit back pass. I do wonder why. Well, look, Saliba's better than him, but I think he's come in and done a good job. But that was a bad touch. That was a bad touch. Jaden says, what's your dinner order at Nando's? I have that. Is it the Somerset? Not the Somerset. Chicken burger. That's a lovely cross. It's a goal for Newcastle. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. I think it might. I literally said this a few minutes ago. I think it might be one of those days for Arsenal. They've been robbed of a penalty. Pope's having a worldie. And Walter Messi has scored for Newcastle. They are 1-0 up. I mean, if you're watching the game, you will be sort of going, how has that actually happened? Well, against the run of play, deserved whatever. Pope's played brilliant in goal. And now Walter Messi, or as Walter Maida, as of course his name is, scores the goal. There are some protests coming in here from Newcastle. From Arsenal. I don't think anything's going to happen with that. Oh, God, what's going on here? Sorry, I've lost my live chat here. there can't be any complaints. There's a little push in the back, but you're not going to get that. No, it's the same as what happened a few years ago. That you're not going to get one for that, I'm afraid. That's definitely not going to be given as a foul. They'd be going against their own rules. I mean, that literally happened to Gabriel a couple of years ago, and it was controversial. So you're definitely not going to get that overruled. That's 1-0 to Arsenal, to Newcastle. Lovely goal, lovely cross. That's what Voltemeda can do. Yeah, I mean, Gabriel, I don't know why he even goes down on that. Was he not? It was literally him. It was literally him it happened to 2 years ago. And, yeah, no goal. Goal given there. Volta Messi better than Gyökeres is 1 inch wonder. Paddy says, it's not about if the decision... Hold on, something going on here between Gabriel and Volta Messi. Voltemeda. He's saying, why have you elbowed me in the face for? Well, maybe we'll get a replay. Yeah, Liverpool Fortnite clips, you're absolutely spot on. Gabriel falls down way too easy there. Way too easy. And if I'm Arteta, I'm not happy with Gabriel. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm not happy with Gabriel because 2 years ago, he got a genuine shove in the back and the goal got given. So why would you go down for a little push in the back when you know that's not going to be a foul? So he's naive there. He's naive there. Corner to Arsenal. Let's see what happens. I mean, Arsenal have been the better side, but this is what, this is what can happen. Headed away. Paddy says it's not about if the decision is obviously wrong, in my understanding. It's about the judgment. If the ref judged that the keeper did not touch the ball, but keeper touched the ball, then VAR is meant to be involved. No, I think you're getting way too technical, Paddy. That's not how it works. In my understanding, he's given a penalty. There shouldn't be any conferring about the detail of the penalty. It's for the VAR to this. I mean, that's not a foul on Gabriel. I don't even know why he's going down. Maybe he realises he's not going to head the ball, so he takes a tumble. I mean, Arteta's not going to be very happy, is he? You can sort of understand it. Thoughts on Saliba not starting, says it's Louis. Well, if he's not fit, I don't think he was fit last week. Pappy says, look at Nick Pope's reaction on the penalty. He doesn't even contest it. If he felt he won the ball, the reaction would have been different. I need to take a look at it at half-time again. Magic Melons says, how would you feel if United got Eddie Howe? Well, we won't. He's a good manager. Alex says, if Gabriel stands up, he heads it away. Again, I'd need to see it again, but it's shocking defending to go down like that. Anthony Gordon's down now. So as he's down, loses his boot. Timber catches Gordon. Free kick. Play on. Anyone who says that's a penalty is part of the problem and no better than the VAR they complain about, says Ike. I can't even begin to discuss that with you, mate. Maybe go and watch the last 20 minutes. Mascara error led to the goal, says Kevin. I'm tired in here, but how is their stuff, says Wagner. Voltemeda. Here is Voltemeda. Voltemeda. Got good feet, hasn't he? Probably why they call him Voltemeda. Lovely ball into Saka. Gyökeres. He's on his own. Still Gyökeres. Good defending. He probably should have got the shot off there. Good defending by Tiao, or whatever his name is. Wagner's gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much, Wagner. You're a legend. Nearly 20,000 people watching. Please do share the video. I'll tell you what, it's been a very, very incident-driven first half, which obviously leads to an element of entertainment. It's certainly going to be an interesting half-time talk. 5 minutes to go. Newcastle leading 1-0. Nick Pope, regardless of whether it was a penalty or not, is the best player on the pitch. He's made a couple of fantastic saves. Both from Eze. Stopping the play here, I think, because of Tonali. Right, well, maybe they'll show this again. So, I mean, there's not really much going on between Gabriel and Voltemeda there. A bit of a push in the face. Did Gabriel spit on Voltemeda? I've not seen anything about that. Tonali down injured at the moment. They don't want to see him going off. So that's the cross by Tonali. It's hard to see what's going on there. Do you think Arteta could lose his job if Arsenal finish below the top two, says Ross? No, I think there's a long way to go for that. He needs to be winning games like this. Sweet Deadpool says, if you bring on Martinelli, this game is Arsenal's. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Trossard. Steady Eddie player, isn't he, really? Who does this benefit if Arsenal lose in the title race, says Daniel? Man City. I think Man City are slowly going about their job, and if Liverpool and Arsenal are going to be unpredictable, then it opens the doors for clubs that maybe can get closer to the title than they thought. Eze versus Tonali, says it's Louis. They're not even in the same position, mate. I can't do a new poll at the moment, mate, because we need to keep it going for the second half. Can't believe we went for Martinez over Timber, says Evan Whelan. We didn't. Learn your history, Evan. Or even. Man United wanted Timber. He chose to stay at Ajax, so we went for Martinez. And we didn't bring Martinez until July. We were trying to get Timber in May, June. So we wanted, Ten Hag wanted Timber. St James's Place Park is not an easy place, says Jeff. They've got a tough game on their hands now, Arsenal. A lot of things gone against them psychologically. You know, they've had the keepers pulled off 2 worldies. Penalty overturned, conceded. It's not a happy hunting ground for Newcastle Arsenal. Of course, Newcastle have now got something to hold on to as well. Timber, lovely header into Saka. And ball. Alex says, what's your opinions on Anthony Gordon? I think he's a bit overrated. I don't think he's had the best start to the season. I think he's a really good player, but Wagner's gifted 10 memberships again, I think. Absolute legend. Thank you very much for that. And Scrimp says, do you think VAR in its current state has caused more controversy than refereeing did pre-VAR? Feels like VAR has only caused more issues than solved. What VAR is meant to do, there's nothing wrong with VAR. The technology is fine. The offsides, the ability to look at incidents and change bad decisions. VAR, nothing wrong with it. It fundamentally works if it's run by people who know what they're doing. But, you know, computers in the hands of people who don't know what they're doing are dangerous. And that's the problem. The VAR technology is fine. The people who have the technology, I call it, you know, main man syndrome. You're sat in a room watching it and you want to get involved. It's a shame, like, there isn't a computer that can do it, because I'm sure somebody could write a program that gives them all the rules and basically tells the referee if it's, you know, if he's got it wrong, if it's not clear and obvious, let it go. But it's human error. Human error is the problem. I mean, you look at that penalty, I don't think he needs to get involved, but something in his head says, I'm going to get involved, you know? And it happens all the time. Look at the Man United one yesterday. Mbermo is about to shoot on goal. Collins pulls him back, so he's never in control of the ball. No attempt to win the ball. Last man, should be a red card. VAR, human error, says, well, he was never in control of the ball, so it can't be. I don't even know what they were trying to say. He wasn't in control of the ball because he got pulled back. You know, human brains make mistakes too often in this great sport we love. So it's not actually VAR that's the problem. It's the people who are sat behind it or in front of it. Lovely ball by Saka into Timber. Lovely first touch, but good defending by Newcastle. They've got the numbers, and Joel Linton will bring it away. I thought Anthony Gordon dived there, but he's given it. James Mead, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. You're a legend, pal. And The Edge on Football says, this was Arsenal's problem last season. Whenever Liverpool dropped points, they always failed to capitalise on it. 7 minutes added on. Yeah, but you know what? I think sometimes this is why we love football. Like, I can't complain about this in a spectacle sense. I mean, I like Newcastle. I predicted Arsenal would win the league. I'd rather Arsenal win the league than Liverpool or Man City for obvious reasons as a United fan. But I don't necessarily like Arsenal. I mean, it's not like, oh, I'd love them to win the league. So I think that, you know, they're a good side, Newcastle. And to be fair, they're not involved. It's, how is that not a foul on Saka, by the way? You look at the referee there and you go, you don't know what you're doing. Like, he's literally been fouled. He's skilled somebody and he's lost the ball. But, yeah, I mean, from Newcastle's point of view, goalkeeper's done his job. Referee's done his job. And then you've done your job taking the chance when it comes and you're 1-0 up. And the balance of the game may be that Arsenal have been the better side, but you're 1-0 up. From an Arsenal point of view, the complaints for not being more on the front foot against Man City, they go on the front foot, they're losing 1-0. I think Arsenal have played well, and in different circumstances could be like 2-0 up without the penalty. So this is why we love football, because it sometimes has a very unpredictable element to it. And I think if you've watched that 45 minutes, in a different day, it could be 2-0 to Arsenal. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. So the balance of the play and the stats don't always deliver the results. Vanch says, I've just joined notable moments. Well, if you give us 3 minutes, we'll be talking about them at half time. TS3, look, get your comments in, we'll read them out. Super chat here from TS3 Rules. He says, agree mostly about VAR, but think main problem is the rules are too subjective. Although sometimes, like the non-red yesterday, it is the idiots using it. Yeah, look, I think that, I think the Mo Salah handball thing yesterday, subjective. in a way, this is not going to make Arsenal fans feel any better, right? The Mo Salah handball yesterday, the goal is given on the pitch. So it's 1-1. Chiesa's goal is given. The referee doesn't see or give a handball. VAR looks at it and says, you might want to take a look at this. And essentially, they keep the goal because they can't see that it's clearly and obviously a handball. So they keep it as a goal. Today, the penalty gets given, but it gets overturned on evidence that's not clearly and obviously wrong. So you've got that subjective contradiction again. The Collins handball, the Collins sending off yesterday that wasn't a sending off, that should have been a sent off. There's no subjectivity there. There's no clear and obvious. That's just completely and utter lunacy, not understanding the rules. The penalty that Brighton should have had for the kick in the head, I mean, again, that's just lunacy. It's just not understanding the rules. You can't blindly kick the ball that's not there and hit somebody in the head. So there was two yesterday that were just incredibly bad. The Salah one, I think they just hid behind that it wasn't clear and obviously a handball. But then today, they've overturned something that wasn't clearly and obviously not a penalty. So we just get inconsistency all the time. Saka into the box. Dan Burn does well. And I think that'll be half-time. Tommy says, what are your 500 worst VAR decisions to date? Well, that's the sad thing, Tommy. It does feel like that we do get so many of these bad decisions time and time again. That's going to be half time anyway, isn't it? We've had the 7 minutes. But Newcastle, you can't blame them. They're not in control of VAR. Their goalkeeper has made some brilliant saves. Voltemader's scored a very good goal. And, you know, you play the game in front of you, don't you? I mean, next week, Newcastle will be on the receiving end. That's the thing I always say about VAR. It doesn't scrutinise. It does it to everybody. And, you know, there'll be times this season where Newcastle are going, I can't believe it, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. But remember, there was a vote put forward by Wolves to turn VAR off, and 19 clubs voted not to. So, you know, I do wonder why so many clubs didn't turn that off, didn't vote to turn it off. The funny thing is, Gorge says it was a penalty but not a red. That's what I thought we were discussing. I can't believe the penalty got overturned. I was like, it's a red and a yellow. Sorry, it's a penalty and a yellow. It's not a sending off because he does intend to try and get the ball. He just, you know, he takes the player out as well. So it never would have been a red card for Pope either. But Default 66 says, do you think Sesko will live with that huge regret knowing he ruined his career by joining Man United over Newcastle? I think it's early days, Default 66. As much as I don't like the Premier League penalty rules, they're at least better than the Champions League penalties given by UEFA refs, says Jaden. Okay, so half-time, 1-0 to Newcastle. Arsenal have actually played very well, as the stats there showed. I think Arsenal have played very well. Nick Pope made a brilliant save from Eze in the first few minutes. He made another good save from Eze later on in the half. And Arsenal have been on the front foot in a very difficult, ground to go. It's a very tough away game. Newcastle leading, brilliant cross into Voltemader. But the big story of the half, again, is going to be officiating. And look, 56% of you say it's a penalty, 44% of you say no. I think it's difficult with these sorts of things because we already know a lot of the media are against Arsenal and a lot of rival fans are against Arsenal. So I don't know that you get an honest opinion on it. My honest, no bias opinion is that I instantly thought it was a penalty, and the referee obviously did as well. When I'm looking at it, I'm going, right, the ball's there. Gyökeres gets there first. Nick Pope's late and definitely takes Gyökeres out. Some people are saying he gets a bit of the ball. He doesn't know what bit of the ball he gets. It's not a tackle. He's just literally trying to get there before Gyökeres, and he doesn't. And if the ball hits him, he's got no awareness of it. But ultimately, if that's in the middle of the park and I go in to tackle someone and I'm late and the ball hits me and I clatter the player, I know it's going to be a foul. So for me, people who say he got a bit of the ball, I mean, I thought we'd moved past this lunacy years ago. I saw Xhaka get the ball with his studs up in the air and get a red card, quite rightly. Getting the ball doesn't mean it's not a foul. I could get a little toe on the ball and absolutely clatter and break someone's leg. I'm still getting a red card. It's still a foul. So I don't think getting a little bit of the ball justifies taking the player out of the game. And also, if Pope doesn't take Gyökeres out, he's past Pope and he's got the ball. So you've got to look at that as well. Does Gyökeres get fouled by Pope? Yes, he does. Referee gives the foul. Penalty. We're then thinking, is it a yellow? Is it a red? It should have been a yellow. VAR looks at it and goes, you've got that clear and obviously wrong. You need to look at it. Okay, we go, oh, he's got it clear and obviously wrong then. What's gone wrong? You look at it and you go, why am I still looking at this? Does he get the ball? Does Gyökeres dive? And I'm sat there again going, we've got VAR in Stockley Park, re-refereeing games, doing something that Howard Webb has said multiple times he doesn't want them to do. Unless it's clear and obvious, you don't get involved. And nobody can tell me that that is clearly and obviously not a penalty because we're 50-50 debating it. So the answer is the proof is in the pudding. 56% of you think it's a penalty, 44% of you think it's not a penalty, and you're educated people who've watched it. So if it's a 50-50 split, why is the referee on VAR telling the referee who's given the penalty to take a look at it? Because by definition, it's not clear and obvious. If 50% of us think it's a penalty and 50% of us think it's not a penalty, you have to stick with what the referee on the pitch has done. You can't go, I think you're wrong, you need to look at it, because it's not clear and obviously wrong. And that's what people don't seem to understand. I've seen lots of penalties that should have been given and the referee on the pitch doesn't give it. And we've sat here and gone, I think it's a penalty, but it won't get given because VAR will look at it and go, maybe it is a penalty, but it's not clear and obvious that he's got that wrong, so let's just leave it. So I don't know why he's re-refereeing that incident. It makes no sense to me, and that's my stance on it, as I fill a bit of the gap before we get to see it again. This is going to be it. So we're watching it here. Yeah, I mean, Gyökeres gets the ball first. How can you say it's a tackle by Nick Pope when Gyökeres touches the ball first? I thought people were saying Pope gets the ball first. No. That's not a tackle. That is not a tackle. It can't be a tackle. Gyökeres gets the ball first and then he takes him out. That's a penalty. I mean, if the referee doesn't give it, fine. But you can't overturn that. You can't overturn that. Not by the letter of the rules, you cannot overturn that penalty. It's ridiculous. If the referee on the pitch doesn't give it, I'm okay. You can't overrule it. But on the pitch, he gives this. There's not enough there to overturn that. That is a stinker. An absolute stinker. I'll tell you what, I thought it was going to be a little more debatable than that. Wow. It's even worse. Well, you know, how do you look at that though? You know what I'm saying? You know, when the referee's given it, how does Darren England look at that and go, I think you need to take a look at it? How? On what basis have you seen a clear and obvious error? That's my point. On what basis do you as a VAR referee go, I think you need to take a look at that again? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Give us your thoughts anyway. I think Howard Webb might be doing an apology on that one. Makes no sense why a Liverpool fan on VAR would re-ref the game, says Jonathan Landy. Maybe I detect a sense of sarcasm there. Make sure you share the video. We're very close to 20,000. Please do subscribe. Newcastle is literally playing rugby and the ref is allowing it, says Can. Oh, just to be fair here, I haven't got a problem with Newcastle at all. very well-run club, very passionate club. I don't know what Gabriel's doing on that. It's stupidity. Definitely a goal for Newcastle. Gosh says, I'm sorry, but if you look at the goalkeeper's knee, it nearly snaps from the contact. That proves that the attacker was in fault. If it wasn't a penalty, if Pope has touched, why wasn't it a corner, says Daniel Lee. Ref and VAR saying Pope plays the ball, no foul, says NAU. Mate, tell me this. How do I play the ball when I run out like that and I'm not even looking at it? How do I play a ball that I don't even know where it is? Admittedly, it does touch Pope, but only because Gyökeres kicks it at him and then gets fouled. Come on. Up the tune, says Nico. PGMOL is blatantly corrupt, says Vanta. Robbo96 says, ultimately, if Arsenal are so good, they shouldn't be reaching for dodgy penalty calls. Arteta will use this as an excuse to abdicate responsibility. Yeah, but Robbo, look at the Liverpool-Arsenal game. High-stakes game solved by a world-class goal. You can't say, if Arsenal are so good, why do they need a penalty at Newcastle? It's Newcastle. They're one of the best teams in the league, at one of the hardest places to go in the league. You can't say, why do Newcastle need a penalty? Of course you need a bloody... you can't just say, we don't need penalties. Like, of course it's going to help them in a very difficult place against a very good team. Do you think Sesko will live with that? Done that one from Default 66. Anyway, look, we're approaching the second half. I think what Robbo was trying to say is that bad decisions happen. Don't use it as an excuse. There's still 45 minutes to go. But it'd be very, very hard. People saying dive are rage baiting. At no point did I think it was a dive, by the way. I don't think I've heard anybody mention that, to be honest with you. Let's close the poll. 56% say penalty, 44% say no. But even if you think it's 50-50, why is the VAR telling him to relook at it on a debate? Could be your club next week, says Shinobi. It will be your club next week. Of course it will. Of course it will. And if you think it's not a penalty, that's absolutely fine. But it's not obviously not a penalty. And therefore, if the referee on the pitch gives a penalty, it shouldn't get overturned unless it's obviously not. And it wasn't obvious. So even those people saying it's the right decision, you don't understand the rules. The referee on the pitch gives it. It should only get overturned if it's clearly and obviously wrong. And it wasn't clear and obviously wrong because we're debating it. So by the letter of the rule, it should have been given. Should have been given. Do you think Arsenal will get back into it? I don't know. It feels like I'd said at 0-0. It might be one of those days for Arsenal. They get the dodgy penalty decision. They get Nick Pope making a couple of worldies. Sometimes you start to feel it's not your day. And Newcastle are a threat on the break now. So maybe it's going to be one of those days for Arsenal. They can't afford it to be one of those days. They'd be in 7th place if they lose. But they've got to keep their focus. Got to keep doing what they're doing. I think with Eze in the midfield, they look a lot better going forward. Probably, I don't know what they've got on the bench, but I mean, I maybe would be looking at the likes of Adauman. Odegaard's on the bench as well. Ranieri's not there for some reason. I don't know whether he's got an injury, but you've got Martinelli, Moreno, Odegaard, Dauman. Maybe Trossard comes off. But they've just got to keep their heads. If they can get a point from this situation, it wouldn't be a bad point. Obviously, they're going to want to win. But, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very interesting second half, certainly. Yeah. Skunk says, I think Arsenal will get back into this. How come Gabriel didn't get sent off for the elbows as Bats? I haven't seen an elbow. I saw him give a little bit of a push. Did you know that Jared Gillay is a Liverpool fan too, says Dabby. And the ref has been involved in 4 out of 6 Arsenal games. He was ineligible for Anfield because he's a Liverpool fan, so it's 4 out of 5 actually, says Tanishk. And Sanchez got a touch on the ball last week, was still a foul and a red. Refs make me sick, my stomach, destroying the game. Mark, love your non-biased views, says Gone at Gooner Girl. You know what? People ask me, oh, you're an Arsenal fan, you're a Liverpool fan, this, that and the other, because I am quite unbiased. I just can't stand the PGMOL and the refereeing in this country. It's disgustingly bad. And I've been on this train for 2 years. So it doesn't matter whether you're Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Leeds. If you are on the end of a bad decision like that, I will champion you, because I cannot stand what they're doing to the beautiful game in this country. They're ruining it. Like, they're absolutely ruining it. I don't know what's a handball. I don't know what's a foul. I don't know what's happening most of the time, because it's a shambles, you know? And as James says, it's the bias that ruins it for everyone, Mark. Yeah, well, bias, cheating, ineptitude. I call it incompetence. But Saliba's coming on at half-time. I mean, I don't know how that helps Arsenal, really. Maybe helps them get higher up the pitch, I don't know. Notorious says, robbery by the rest, but since the penalty call happened, Arsenal dropped off a lot. Might be getting into them mentally, yeah. Turtle says, Gabriel assault, no red card. They haven't really shown as much of that, mate, to be honest. So I can't really comment on it. But Lee Berman says, the refereeing seems subjective and not following the rule book. Look, I don't want to bring Man United into it. You can watch the United stand at 8 o'clock. But I think there'd have been a bigger outcry if that had happened to a Liverpool player or an Arsenal player yesterday. Because it's 100% a red card on Nathan Collins, and he stays on the pitch for the last half an hour at 2-1. Now, Brentford deserved to beat United, but United deserved to be playing against 10 men. It was a shocking decision. Totally made up by not only the referee on the pitch, but also VAR. They totally rewrote the rules live at Brentford. Shocking decision. And how is that okay? How are we the best league in the world with officials that are making it up on the pitch? They're not following their own rules. We've seen it again today. Penalty given should only be overturned if it's clear and obvious. Not clear and obvious, but they overturn it. That's not the rules. So they're ignoring the rule book. What's the point in having a rule book? Anyway, Saliba is on for the second half. Let's get ready to go. Timers ready to go. Do Arsenal get back into this? I can see a draw. I mean, they got him. I think if I was Newcastle, and it's very, very difficult in circumstances like this, but if I'm Newcastle, I want the second goal, because you can see a scenario like last week. Arsenal are going to probe and probe and probe, and at some point you feel they'll get that goal. So if Newcastle want to win it, I think they've got to score a second goal. Otherwise, I can see 1-1. I don't think Arsenal won't score in the 45 minutes here. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, get involved with That's Football. Big week ahead as well. We've got Champions League football watch-alongs on Tuesday and Wednesday. Friday night we'll have live Bundesliga football, live footage. Here we go. Murphy, 2-0. Oh, he's missed it! Volta Maida! Volta Missy! Well, there's an offside anyway, apparently, but how's it offside? Oh, he's offside there. Murphy. Oh, my God. I think Timber might just chuck himself at this. No, it was just a blatant miss. I'll tell you what, I'd like to see if Murphy actually was offside, because that's a big miss by Volta Maida. Volta Missy. That was always going to happen, wasn't it? They call him Volta Messi at Stuttgart. He could have been Volta Missy there. But offside in the build-up. Because the ref saw no contact of Pope to ball, but Pope did have contact, so it's an error and check needed. If ref sees contact and judges it still to be penalty, then VAR would not get involved, says Paddy. You've already said this, Paddy. You're repeating yourself. It makes no difference. The reality is you're talking about a very technical thing, and VAR should look at it and go, it's not clear and obviously not a penalty, mate, so you don't need to look at it. You got it right. You're talking about semantics and detail of a penalty being given, which may or may have not been spoken about. The reality is it's still a penalty anyway, so they shouldn't be getting involved. We need to move on from it, mate. They've made a big mistake. Everyone knows they made a big mistake. Some of you think they haven't made a big mistake. Let's watch the game. So Saliba on at half-time. Can Arsenal get back into it? Well, not playing like that, because it was actually Newcastle who nearly made it 2-0. I'm getting bored of this because I've already said my bit. The reason I say we need to move on from it is because I've already said my piece. You can keep saying semantics. He got the ball. As we've explained multiple times, Nick Pope does not contest the penalty being given. That's the biggest indicator of all that it was a penalty. And also, when you watch it back, Nick Pope isn't even looking at the ball that hits him, apparently. So he doesn't get the ball. Somebody was saying before half-time he gets the ball first. This is the craziness of what people see to try and justify a shit refereeing decision. I tell you what, whoever you support, I hope it happens to you next week. Because you'll have my sympathy and I will back you. I don't know why you're protecting officials that are shit at their job because you don't like Arsenal. Because that's ultimately what it's about. You're defending PGMOL shit referees because you don't want it to be a penalty to Arsenal. That's basically what it comes down to. And it will happen to your club next week or the week after. 4 horrific decisions this weekend. FDC says, if Arsenal lose this week's winners at City. The thing about Arsenal is, though, I mean, look, you don't want to be losing games, but obviously Arsenal fans are very high, very, very demanding. But you look at Arsenal's 6 games they've played, been to Anfield, been to Newcastle, been to Old Trafford, played Man City. And that's the way I look at it. You know, obviously, if they could, I mean, it's a big turnaround if they can win this game, but if they draw this game, I'm sure there'll be a lot of moaning from certain Arsenal fans, but they've played 4 very difficult games in 6. And 3 of them are away. Lovely feat by Eze. But it's set up lovely for Newcastle now to just park the bus and counter. It's very much deja vu, isn't it? This is exactly what Arsenal faced last week against Man City. Corner to Arsenal. Blake says, after the contact, Saka got the ball in front of an open net and he called the penalty too early for that as well, says Blake. I don't think you can have a moan about that. I mean, maybe they should have took that into account when turning it over, but, you know, the referee did give the penalty, so... Lots of people saying Trossard needs to come off for Arsenal. I don't know why he starts. Cleared away by Newcastle. Raya's in the Newcastle half here. Terrible kick. 5 easy games to come for Arsenal. Let me have a look. Well, Liverpool play Man City in November. Arsenal's next 5 Premier League games are West Ham at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, Burnley away, Sunderland away, and then Tottenham at home. I wouldn't say Sunderland away is necessarily easy, and I wouldn't say Crystal Palace at home is either. But I know what you mean. I think it's very hard to look at the Premier League now and say you've got 5 easy games in a row anyway. What I'm saying is if Arsenal can get back into this and get a point, I don't think it's a bad point. Yeah, there'll be 4 points off the top, but still a lot of football to be played. Would you take Xavi at United? I think he would be very good for you guys. He would be more solid defensively, keep the ball and develop youngsters, says Owen. My honest answer is, Owen, that sounds really great, but we're sacking a manager after 11 months who had a very good style of play at Sporting and was clearly going to need 2 or 3 years to build a team in his system. So why would I get excited about another manager coming in with a style of play that's going to build a dynasty and will not be given time? Like, my stance as a United fan is we ain't coming back until we get rid of the Glazers, and we ain't getting rid of the Glazers. And to those people who think we can just change a manager and be good, I watch United every week. It's not just the manager that's the problem. The owners are a bloody joke. The players are ridiculously inconsistent. Gordon down the left-hand side. Oh, lovely cross by Gordon. You'd really want Voltemeda there attacking that front post. Well done, Ezzy there. Saka on the right. That was a lovely play by Anthony Gordon. I just think Voltemeda needed to... Oh, Ezzy on the cutback over the bar. Yeah, two half chances there. Ezzy, good ball in by Trossard. It's just a little behind him on the volley. It was good play by Arsenal. And then just before that, Anthony Gordon did really well down the left-hand side. Puts the cross into the front post, but Voltemeda hasn't made the run. If he had, you know, it could have been 2-0. There it is, look. Just going to make that front post run. To be fair, Gabriel's got hold of his shirt. Intriguing game on a Sunday afternoon. Enjoying this. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Gyökeres. He's had a baptism of fire in this Premier League, hasn't he? He's had to play against some very good defences. Newcastle, Man City, Liverpool. I don't think that's a yellow card, is it? Is that a yellow card? To me, it just looks like a soft free kick. It's not solely Ruben's fault when every other manager prior to him has ended up in the same boat. Be the same after Ruben as well. Nothing changes, says Gems. Yeah, I agree. Mark says, haven't the players you criticised been signed by managers that you said aren't the problem? Yeah, we're not doing a United Stand show in the middle of a watch-along, mate. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. And also, De Ligt isn't the problem. Yoro isn't the problem. Agate isn't the problem. So I'm not getting into a United Stand show, but I genuinely don't think you use these. The problems are people like Luke Shaw, Delot, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire. You know, players that have been here for multiple managers that shouldn't be here anymore, that we're still relying on. I'm talking about Samantha... Paddy, I'm not interested. Sorry. We're not talking about anything to do with the penalty anymore. You've just been laughed at by Unki as well. 3 times you've asked the same question. We're trying to watch a game of football now. No one wants to talk about the penalty anymore. I told you last time, just stop talking about it. We're going to waste 5 minutes talking about the penalty because you want to convince the world it wasn't a penalty. 55% of us think it was. 45% think it wasn't. VAR overturned it. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. Life's too short. Let's just move on. What we've missed in this game is that Newcastle do need to win. They're in the bottom half of the table. It's very important that they get back in the Champions League this year as well. It's very unlikely they're going to win the Champions League. So, they've got to start winning their home games. Lovely touch by Calafiori there. Good interception by Dan Burn. Matthew Vaughan, this is That's Football. It's not a Man United channel. And if it was a Man United channel, most people would think it wasn't a penalty because they don't like Arsenal. So I don't know what you're talking about, but sober up, pal, because you're talking shit. Man United fans wouldn't want it to be a penalty for Arsenal, trust me. Don't know why you think Man United fans like Arsenal. Ezzy. Good defending by Arsenal, this. Timber! What a save by Pope. Why did he not let it drop and hit it with his foot? Maybe he just wasn't aware. Maybe he thought someone was going to be there. No, he's got to head that. He has got to head that. Lovely ball by Zubamendi. Great save by Pope. He's having a worldie. He's having a worldie. Is Newcastle dominating, says Spencer? No. Timber saying he was fouled. Timber. Trossard. I don't think you're going to get a penalty with that. Livramento on Trossard. Let's have a look. Nah, you're not going to get a penalty for that. If you were to list the strikers bought this year, Isak, Sesko, Pedro, in order of goals scored at the end of the season, what would you put them into? Well, I can only do the ones that you've listed, Martin. So I think Isak will score more than Sesko and Pedro, and I think Pedro will probably score more than Sesko. Nick Pope has made at least 3 brilliant saves. At least 3. Half an hour to go. 15 minutes of the half. Newcastle still engaging the press high up the pitch, though. You know, they're not parking the bus yet. I mean, they could play a lot deeper. Nick Pope or Dean Henderson? I quite like that as a poll. Whoever asked that. Let's do it. There you go. Timber, Calafiori, Rice. Newcastle got the numbers back now. Yeah, what Paul Scholes was saying about Declan Rice is, I can't remember what he said exactly, but he was basically saying that he could be a really good box-to-box player, but doesn't do enough. Well, at West Ham, he was more of a holding midfielder, wasn't he? I think at Arsenal, he's got more licence to get forward. Calafiori and cleared away. Gyökeres has been invisible, says Agile. I've seen Erling Haaland have countless games like this. I think he's up against two centre-backs. It's been a tough game, yeah. Two good centre-backs as well. Odegaard must be panicked seeing Eze play. I mean, you could put Eze to left wing. Saka. Saka's got to release that. Murphy's through here. Lovely pace. Rice stays with him. Good defending by Declan Rice. Do you think Ange will get fired, says A9? I think it's a bad fit. Oh my God. Excuse me. Corner to Newcastle. They're good at corners. No, that was a crap corner. Nice little flick. Gabriel's there. Arsenal need to transition the ball quicker because there are times where you can really get at them. Well, 3 substitutions for Newcastle here. Trippier is coming on. Alanga is coming on. Bruno G is not coming off. He's just coming over to get directions. Murphy and Gordon coming off. Alanga on. Trippier on. Azula coming on as well. Voltemeda. I think he's going to a back 5, isn't he? If Trippier's coming on, he must be going to a back 5. 2 up front. Arteta. Oh, could have been a second yellow for Calafiori for pulling the shirt of Dan Burn. I see what you mean, yes. Alanga's had a bit of a rough start so far, says Truck. I think it'll be a good signing, though. You know, most signings of Eddie Howe end up working out, don't they? Even people like Harvey Barnes, people said, oh, it's a bit of a weird signing. I still think he's been a good signing for Newcastle. Would you take Eddie Howe at United over Amram, says Ethan? I think it's a mute point because it will never happen. So it's like saying, would you take Ancelotti? Would you take, you know, Luis Enrique? I mean, you can say yes if you want. I don't really see the point in saying it because it undermines the current manager and we're not going to get them. So I did say 1-1 and Arsenal will get back into this, but to be honest, I think Eddie Howe's made a very, very intelligent tactical switch, going to a back five. Losing one of his forwards just makes it lots harder for Arsenal to play through them now. Well done, Timber. He's got through two there. Saka, what's he going to do? Why did he shoot? Why did he shoot? Goes for a corner. What do we got? 22 minutes to go. I don't know why Gyökeres didn't hit that first time. Would you sell Bruno in January and keep Amram, says Shaz? I don't want to talk about Man United. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock and we've got a good game of football going on here. And I, honestly, for my own mental health, I just don't want to talk about Man United at the moment. That's football's my escapism. Saka's coming off. That's not the player I would have took off. Moreno and Martinelli coming on. Calafiori and Saka off. So Trossard stays on. Maybe it's a fitness load thing. I'd say Calafiori's being subbed off so he doesn't get sent off. Elman says he's clearly trying to manage Saka. Rice with the corner, not very good. Headed away. Long throw in here. Flicked on. Gyökeres. Wants a corner. Thinks he get it. He does get it. Does get it. "20 minutes to go. It's been a quick half." Right into the hands of Nick Pope there. Sociedad are leading Barcelona, Mark. The man speaks no love. It's only 33 minutes gone though, mate. And it's in the new camp or the old camp or the mini camp or whatever you want to call it. I think that Newcastle at the moment are looking good for this. Still a long time to go. 20 minutes in a Premier League game, especially the last 20. Man of the match, Pope. Easy for me. Simon Cox says, I've just popped in to say Arteta out. Nick Pope wins the vote, 59% to Dean Henderson's 41%. I wonder whether that would be the same, though, if Pope had given the penalty up and not made 3 saves. Sometimes I think we are a little bit recency biased. He's had a good goal. He's had a good game today, though. You can't deny that. Arteta was 14th at one point and doing bad and kept losing. Please ask Arsenal fans why they stuck with him. Can we compare to Man United situation, says Shan. I think the big problem with Bruno Guimaraes is celebrating making tackles here. Livramento's gone down. To answer the question, Shan, I don't think even I, as a United fan who wants Amorim to do well, can any longer compare him to Arteta's start at Arsenal, because the problem that Amorim has, and I won't bury this, is the fact that he puts Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, picks Binder in goal, and has Harry Maguire as his last man defender. I mean, those 3 things are just unforgivable. So, looks like Livramento might need to come off here. Done something to his knee. What do you think about Spurs this season, says Raz? Are they a possible title contender? I don't think you're a title contender when you're drawing it home to Wolves. I mean, I didn't actually watch that game because I'm not a massive fan of 8 o'clock Saturday night, but I saw a late equaliser, like a very late equaliser, 90 plus 4, and I think that's, you know, sort of not title contender. So I don't know whether you're taking the piss, because Wolves actually had the same amount of shots on target, the same possession, and Spurs needed a 90 plus 4 equaliser. So no, I don't see them as a title contender. Arsenal games are boring, says T-Baller. Season's been really strange and unpredictable, says Jake. And Nontas says the leniency towards the team that's last song or in a disadvantage needs to stop, because I feel Calafiori should have gotten a yellow if Casemiro did. Thank you, Brains. Yeah, I don't think Spurs will challenge for the title, really. No. Big win for Newcastle, though, if they can get this. They are into the top half, as things stand, 8th place. And they'd only be a point behind Arsenal. Livramento's still down. Lascelles is going to come on. Skunk says, I think Wolves have been all right, actually. One of them where the table doesn't reflect the performance. I just think the Premier League's very competitive at the moment, and sometimes a good performance doesn't get you the game, does it? Man United played well against Arsenal, lost 1-0. Arsenal could have been 2-0 up at half-time. They're 1-0 down. You know, I watched Wolves against Newcastle a few weeks ago. Wolves were really good up until Voltemada got the goal, and then the game ends up 1-0. This doesn't look good for Livramento. So, football's so... I mean, literally, he's having a good season, lands on his knee. Was that even the knee he landed on? So it's his left knee. It's mad. It's not even the knee. It's not even the knee he lands on. Strange injury, that. So he went up in the air really high. He lands badly on his leg, but it's the other knee that is injured. So looks like it could be an ACL, but must have been impact from the Arsenal player. Who do you think's going to win next week, Liverpool or Chelsea? I think it's game of the week, mate, really. At Stamford Bridge. Liverpool have just lost their first game of the season. Can't afford to be losing again. Chelsea have lost 2 on the bounce. Lovely feet by Martinelli, but there's too much traffic. Newcastle clear the ball. It's a shame, Livramento. I really like him. I think he's a good player, and he's done very well this season for Newcastle. In the England squad as well. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. 20k watching. Absolute legends. Make sure you smash a like. Mark, why can't Newcastle make better transfers? They sold Isak for so much money. Do we really know how FPL works, says Nomad? I think they've made some good transfers. I think they wanted to make better transfers, but people like Mbeumo, Cunha, Šeško, all Man United players, Ekitike, Pedro, Delap, didn't want to come. Yeah, there's an 8 PM show on the United Stand. Yes, Sebastian, yeah. Well, it's not looking good for Arsenal again. 1-0 down, 12 minutes to go. There will be some stoppage time because of what happened to Livramento, but you know, maybe at half-time, Arsenal fans were thinking they can maybe turn this around. They certainly were good in the first half, but Newcastle, with that goal, have bedded in. Thank you. Arshek says Arsenal perennial bottlers. Is this the biggest shock of the season so far, says Robert? I think that's massively disrespectful to Newcastle at St James's Park. I mean, Newcastle beating anybody here is not a shock to me. Oh, God. Still trying to get over this virus. Then again, I suppose it's been a week. It's been a week, isn't it? Artera, says Brat Pack. Well, they're not going to get back into this by knocking the ball around the back. Long ball by Raya. It's hard to see where Arsenal are going to get any joy at the moment because they're losing so many 50-50s. Well done, Pope. Swift says, what are the chances Arsenal snag a draw last minute? I don't really know what happened there. I thought Gyökeres was in a position to get a shot off, and I don't know. It's a poor finish, isn't it? Slips as he's about to shoot. It's a physical battle out there. Odegaard is on. Zubimendi off. Club World Cup has doomed Chelsea, sadly, says Josh. I think with Chelsea, it's 2 red cards. I mean, I think you'd have beat us last week if you'd kept 11 on the pitch. And I think you'd have beat Brighton yesterday if you'd kept 11 on the pitch. So, you know, look at this game. Penalty gets overruled. Nick Pope makes a couple of saves. Easily could have been Arsenal who went ahead in this game. Newcastle do it, and they've kept the lead. Chelsea have 2 red cards. Yeah, and look at what happens. But yeah, in relation to Chelsea, I think some of the, as I was saying earlier on, I think some of the Chelsea doom merchants are a little bit unfair because you're going to struggle when you're getting men sent off in this league. If you take a step back and look at the struggles teams have over the years, Klopp doesn't get enough respect for what he did to Parker. I mean, look, I don't want to turn the last 8 minutes into a Liverpool glow up, but Jurgen Klopp did a very good job at Liverpool, as we know. I think one of the best things he did was rebuild that midfield the summer before he left. You know, Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai, I mean, it's basically a perfect midfield 3. I know they've got Wirtz who can play in there now, but that was done in one summer. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister. I've never known anybody do that. Rice has got a bit of space. Terrible cross, goes for a corner. Robert McCormack says, Rashford's got an assist 3 games running. It's a bit of a farmers league though, mate, when you're Barcelona. It's good for us though. Might need to bring him back if we go back to a 4-3-3. If he'd ever want to come back. Oh, no. Goal. Moreno. 1-1 Arsenal. They've done it again. What you can say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? It's a lovely header. Nick Pope can't save that. The flick here. Eze again. Into Rice. He's onside. Oh, it's just a brilliant... You can't do anything about that. They're not savable. It hits the foot of the post, the header. Lovely cross by Rice. Oh, you just can't save it. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. It's a delightful ball by Rice. It's a brilliant header. And Moreno does it. I did say I fancied them to get a point. And it looks like they will get a point. And it won't be a bad point for Arsenal. There might be some moaning about it, but it won't, I don't think that's a bad point for Arsenal if they get it. As I said, they've been to Newcastle, lovely play by Bruno G, and to Alanga, great tackle by Gabriel. Yeah, they've been to Newcastle, they've played Man City at home, they've been to Old Trafford, they've been to Anfield. So I think in Arsenal's sense, if they can get a point here, you'd probably look at it and go, we've got easier games to come. You know? But Newcastle on the attack. Dan Burn. Good play by Saliba. Could be a handball here. I don't think you give a handball for that. I really think if they give a handball for that, the game's gone. It's a slide tackle, isn't it? You'd probably end up giving it. It depends if it comes off Gabriel at all. If it comes off Gabriel... No, he gets a foot on the ball. That's not a penalty. No, he's slide tackling. That's not a penalty. Comes off his shin, hits his hand. Not a penalty. I think for me, if there's no touch from Elanga, that's a penalty. But because he slides into it and the ball flies up towards his arm, he's naturally slide tackling. So your arm's going to be in the hand and he makes the tackle. So I don't think you can give a penalty for that. Can we run a poll? Yeah. Was that a pen for Newcastle? Skelly's coming on for Trossard. I think it's really difficult because so many people don't like Arsenal, so they'll be going, oh, it should be a penalty. But if that was your player who makes a slide tackle on Elanga, and as they tackle Elanga, the ball flies up and hits their hand, how is that a penalty? Like, he's actually tackled him. So you can't slide tackle with your hands down by your side. It's part of the tackle. His hand's in a natural body movement. So why would you think it's a penalty? I don't know. You could say it's evened it up, though, if you think it is a penalty. $21,000 watching. Thanks, everyone. Well, it's an exciting end to the game. It's disappointing for Newcastle. I think in the context of it, Arsenal would be quite happy with this. Why can't you slide tackle with your hands by your side? Yeah, you try that one, mate. Have a go. You try and do that. Newcastle could still win this anyway. They're having a go. Arsenal will be there praying for the final whistle again, clapping the draw. Lissandro against Sociedad flashback. Yeah, well, if you're in Europe, it probably would be a handball. I agree, Tanishq, yeah. Should be 10 minutes added easy. Gemma says it was a penalty. It didn't touch the foot. Gemma, get yourself a pair of these. Definitely touches his foot. Pretty terrible day for me yesterday. We lost and I had to go to work straight after. Thank God I'm on holiday after today, says the Inquisition. Enjoy your holiday, pal. I think the way to deal with Man United at the moment is just to accept that the club is broken and ain't going to get back anytime soon. It's the hope that kills you. Mo thinks it's totally normal to do a slide tackle with your hands down by your side. Mo, if you want to send a video in, I will play it next watch along. Can you send it in to our Instagram page and we'll load that up. So slide tackle with your hands down by your side and we'll play that. I would like to see it. I think it would be very funny. Eight minutes added on. Not quite the 10. I feel Newcastle are more likely to win this. Home, feel a bit aggrieved. Got so close to 3 points. They seem to have more of the energy at the moment. Certainly not sitting back. King says, if Gabriel scores a header, I'm rich. Draw was probably the right result. Who did Lewis Skelly come on for? I didn't see. Someone in the chat will take. Do you think Sunderland can stay up, says Daniel? Yeah. I think they've got a great chance of staying up. I think we desperately need a promoted team to stay up as well. Otherwise, we've got no relegation. Came on for Trossard, Lewis Skelly. King says, I put $10,000 on Man United finishing top 6. You're a prat then. You may as well have put that in a bonfire, mate. Gyökeres in the box. Yeah, you're not going to get a penalty for that, mate. Still 5 minutes to go here. I don't see United getting anywhere near the top 6, no. I mean, it's a weird season, of course, but... Martinelli, good feet. Rice, Timber. Go back to Rice. Rice will put it in. Good cross, back post, and Pope will get that. Favourite NFL team? I haven't looked at the NFL this week, King. I like the Bills at the moment. But they're playing the Saints at the moment, 7-7. A lot of people saying, sorry, 60% of you think Newcastle should have got a penalty. Well, welcome to the world I was in the first half. I mean, fair play, you've got an opinion. I don't think it was, but a couple of very divisive decisions in the game. Trishan says, as a Rashford fan, I have to say he's just putting in more effort than he ever did for us. Suddenly he can pass the ball. He's happier, isn't he, mate? He's playing in a club. He's playing at a club that's, you know, looking to win titles. They're playing in the Champions League. Environments, look at, you know, people like Scott McTominay at Napoli. Environments change the way players play. But he wasn't putting it in at United, so people who say, you know, he was. Come on. Declan Rice to Lewis Skelly. Newcastle got plenty of numbers back. Oh my God! Brilliant tackle. Brilliant tackle by Thiaw. I mean, it was a wonderful ball. I think is it Odegaard? I mean, this pass is just killer. What a pass. And a great recovery tackle. He's probably, that Thiaw for Newcastle's had a bloody good game as well. Very, very good game. Abraham says, I can't believe people are calling Arsenal cheaters when we can't get any calls our way. Still 3 minutes to go here. You fancy EPL Liga All-Stars game and who wins, says Nomad. EPL La Liga All-Stars against Premier League. Have to think who was in it. Ollie and Carrick, then Tuchel. That's the plan, says Keel. That's your plan. Be a Jaguars fan, says King Ra. It's just like being a Man United fan. Thanks, pal. Still 2.5 minutes to go. Bit of a handball there from Bruno G as well. When's career mode back, Mark? I'm thinking Tuesday at the moment, hopefully. Thiaw is the sound you make when you stub your toe. Goal! Who said Gabriel will score a winner? Oh my, OMG. OMG. That is going to put a very, very big cat, I would almost say a lion, in a very small tree with a lot of pigeons. There's a cat amongst the pigeons, and that cat is Gabriel. He could have given a penalty away that Newcastle probably would have scored. He's gone up the other end and won it. This game will be remembered for controversy. And there it is. There it is. Gabriel, dreams can come true. Wow. How ironic it is that people who don't like Arsenal will now be screaming about refereeing decisions. Lovely header as well. I mean, Nick Pope sort of gets stuck in no man's land. I did not expect Newcastle to concede a corner. But Saliba blocks out Pope and Gabriel gets there ahead of him. I mean, look, Dan Burns there as well. You would not expect Newcastle to concede a goal like that. You really, really wouldn't. What a win for Arsenal this is. Huge win for Arsenal in the title race. Huge goal in the title race, that. Huge. 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 And Newcastle losing as well. I did not think that was going to happen. You know, with 10 minutes to go, it's 1-0 to Newcastle. You just can't see it. Will Arsenal get the praise? We've only got 10 seconds of normal time to go. He's given a foul to Newcastle. Thank you, Odegaard. So much more dangerous since he came on, says Alex. Odegaard has got so much aura, says Rajaf. This is a big win. Big win for Arsenal if they can hold on here. On the flip side, Newcastle are in 15th. 6 points from 5. 6. No one's talking about Eddie Howe out, are they? 6 points from fucking 6 games. What? Oh, they've drawn 3, lost 2, and won 1. How the tables can turn. Eddie Howe out. Corner, big throw in by Newcastle. Flicked on by Dan Burn. Newcastle will clear. Referee blows the whistle. Wow. All I can say is, wow. What a turnaround by Arsenal to win that. The belief they're going to have from winning that game is on a different scale. To win that game in that way, in those circumstances, is huge. And when you think about it, they didn't lose to Man City last week. They got a late equaliser. At Liverpool, Szoboszlai scored a worldie. They've been to Newcastle and won. They've been to Liverpool, they've been to Man United, and they've played Man City. Arsenal, coming out of that, 2 points behind Liverpool, they're in a strong position. A very, very strong position. The controversy on the refereeing decisions open up. The game's gone. Refs are done. Arsenal should be winning this. Clear pen for Newcastle, not given. And now this, says Rub. Wow, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to do a match reaction. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock. If you want to talk about the game, get yourself over to Terry's Football Terrace. They're live as well. I'll do a quick match reaction too. I'll have that up for you in a few minutes. Wow, a lot to digest there. United stuff at 8 o'clock on the United stand. Thanks everyone for watching. That is a huge game in the title race. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Take care.